Hello beginning band students, my name is Mrs. Preslin and I'm here today to show you a thing or two about playing the oboe. So if you missed the super lesson or you just need a refresher, then you've come to the right place. First thing I'm going to show you is how to take the instrument out of its case and make a sound. So I would always tell you to put the case on the floor, but since I'm going to be showing you this demonstration, I want you to be able to see the inside of the case, so I'm going to set it on my lap just for now. Now this case does not have any letters on it, but more than likely yours will. If you're using a school instrument, it should say elementary band across the top. Make sure you don't open it upside down or the pieces will go all over the place. If you're renting an oboe, there'll be a brand name on top and then that should be facing up. Some cases will have these knobs that you push off to the side and open the lid like this. Some of them will also have latches, so you just flip the latch up and pull it down to open the case. First thing we're going to do is find the reed, because the reed is the most important part of the instrument. Without the reed, we can't get a sound to work at all. So here's a close-up picture of the reed. First thing you're going to do with the reed is soak it in water. Now I have a little glass of water here, or you can use a little film canister, whatever works for you. You just need a small amount. And we're going to soak it in the water for about 2 minutes while we put the rest of the instrument together. If the reed is dry, it won't make a sound. So let's take the two biggest pieces out first. This is called the upper joint, and this is called the lower joint. And we're going to put these together so that all of these keys and all of these keys are facing each other. If you have it turned the wrong way, then it won't fit together. Now you want to first make sure that these corks, those are called corks, the brown part, are not too dry, because if they're too dry, you'll have to force it together and you don't want to break it. So we have to use cork grease. Now that can either come in a small tube like chapstick or in a little tiny black case. So then you would just dip your finger in and rub it, or if it's in the chapstick case, you would just rub it against the corks. So we're going to put these pieces together very carefully, and make sure when you do this that you don't bump these keys against this key or they could snap off. You also want to make sure that when you line it up, these two parts are lined up together. If they're not lined up, then it won't work. And another way to check yourself is there's a bunch of holes on the front. Those should all be lined up, just like a recorder would look like from when you played those last year in 4th grade. And the last piece is shaped like a bell, and guess what? It's called a bell. So this is going to go on the bottom of the lower joint. Again, it won't fit up here because that's where the reed goes. So push and twist. Again, if your cork is dry, you can always put some grease on it. Now we're going to put the case, get it out of our way. Now that our reed has been soaking, we're going to take it out of the water, shake it off a little bit, and this is how we get a sound. So we're just going to try getting a sound with just the reed first. So you're going to do this, put it on your bottom lip, rest it here, and then roll in. And that's called crowing. If you can get a crow on that, then more than likely you'll be able to get a sound once you put it on the instrument. So rest, roll, and then take your hand away. Now we've got our sound on the reed, let's put it in the instrument. And here's a close-up picture of the oboe with the parts labeled. So if you forget what they're called, you can always refer to this. Now we're going to talk about hand position. So your left hand is going to go on top. And when you put your thumb around the side, don't press down this button just yet, just rest it on the black part. And then your left hand, you're going to find the top key that has a hole on it. 1, 2, 3. The right hand, you're going to rest your right thumb underneath. This piece is called the thumb rest. Make sure you put it underneath, not on top, because this is going to support the weight of the instrument. And then the right hand fingers also go 1, 2, and 3. We're not going to use all those fingers today because we're only going to use the top 3 for the first 3 notes. So the very first note in your book is called a B, and you're just going to press down the first finger on the left hand. The next note is called A. Add down the next finger. And the next note is G, adding down one more finger. Now if you squeeze too tight on the reed, the sound either won't come out or it'll be too high. So make sure you don't put too much pressure on the reed. And those are your first three notes, B-A-G, and they spell bag, if that helps you remember them. Now we're going to take the instrument apart. So again, you would leave your case on the floor, but I'm just going to show it to you for instructional purposes right now. So the first thing you're going to take off is the reed. Be really careful with this because these are about $15 a piece at least. So you always want to put the reed in the case first, and be careful not to bump it on the music stand or anything else or it could chip and break. Next, we're going to take the bell off, twist and pull, and it's going to fit in the case like a puzzle. Right there. And then be careful when you take these apart that again you don't bump those pinky keys together. Bigger piece goes in the bigger slot, and the smaller piece goes right here. Close your case, close the latches, and you're all done. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.